Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm super happy to have you here. My name is RANITA and I love getting into makeup tutorials, reviews, anything beauty related, and I'm there. Now we are going to get into Legend of Ardra, which is a beautiful 50 pan palette, and I cannot wait to get into it because it reminds me of such a floral, beautiful color story, something that was very inspiring when I saw the initial, swatches on Adept's website. What I will do is test out every single shade. So if you want to get the swatches, please stay tuned for my Instagram and my TikTok. Yes, I'm on TikTok. You can find me there. Just go and check, my page out because I've been going more into swatches on that. And of course on my Instagram. And if you want to pick up the palette, I have a code because I, have an affiliate code with them. So you can go and use that if you have, an interest in picking up this gorgeous palette. So anyway, let's get into it. This is Adept's latest palette, Legend of Ardra, selling currently for $75. It's already out. So if you want to pick it up, you can use my code. Now this is a limited edition palette with 4 high pearl holochromes. That would be the shades Imposter, Contract of Ardra, Ventaxian Scholar, and Ardra. 2 unique high pearl marble multi-chrome shimmers which are in the center of the palette, 4 high pearl multi-dimensional shimmers, that is Ventax, Legend, Planetary, Tremor, and Feckler, and 5 smooth buildable and blendable mattes. There are multiple textures and formulas in the palette which include gel and cream. If you have oily lids like me, it is highly recommended that you do use a primer at all times. I always use a primer with my eyeshadows because I like them to last all day. I recommend using the one by Shop Alter Ego if you are searching for one that's going to keep your eyes, lasting all day long without melting, of course. Now this does have shea butter, so just note that if you are allergic to this, probably not the best thing for you. It does not have any glitter, mineral oil, and talc. It is vegan with removable magnetic 23mm pans, which means if you want to BYOP with your other Adept palettes, you can definitely do this. Each pan contains about 2 grams of product. Now, something else I love about Adept is the fact that they give you all of this information on their website. So if you have any more questions, you need to go and read up everything about the product under the section where they say product description. So you can go and do that. It says product facts to read before purchasing. They are very open about the fact that this palette has cream-like, gel-like kind of consistencies and that it may not be the best thing for oily lids. So you will see some of this in this review too because I do have oily lids. Anyway, I did find a way to make some of those shades work for me. It's just a matter of experimenting. Something about Adept that I really love and appreciate is the way that they are so open with their followers, even about affiliate codes and promo codes. So if you want to get a discount, it's so easy to do so. All you need to do is go and check out the affiliate and promo code section on every single product page, and you can support whichever creator that you want to when you're buying your palette. There's only 5 matte shades in this palette, so I'm just gonna experiment and have fun here. I'm not going in any particular order for this because I just want to have fun, and we have so many chances to just explore the palette this way. So I'm gonna start probably with these 3. I don't know. Let's see. So depending on the color, I guess you'll see. I'm going in with the deep brown shade first. I'm just gonna get some onto my eyes here, because I like having darker colors at the ends of my eyes. Okay, so I'm going to go in on this side here with a pink, and that's 1000 years. It's a very, very bright pink, so I hope that comes out nicely. I think that if you want this to be even more intense, you definitely need to use a base, but I think it's showing up pretty well even without like a white base, because mine kind of just blends into my skin, and that's the reason why I've switched to this base. I'm going to get in with Crouge, which is a peach kind of color, so I think I'm gonna put that in my inner corners here and just get a little bit of that into my look. I hope that it blends well because I can see a little bit of that pink, not really, but it could be because I put my base there. So anyway, it doesn't matter too much because I just use the initial layer here to give myself an outline of where to put my shimmers. So I'm going to do this on this side as well. I'm doing this eye first, so we are going to go in with this row here. I have Legend and Planetary Tremor, so that's going to be those 2 on this side. So let's begin. I don't see any particular shift coming through here, so I'm going to start with Legend, which is really, whoa, this is really emollient. It's almost like a cream, this shade, yeah, because this is what it looks like. You can see my finger imprint right there. It was very, very emollient. So let's see, hopefully this will. This is showing up beautifully, and I would actually love to wear this to work. My current job, I don't think I'm gonna be wanting to wear very exciting colors, so I will just keep it plain. So anyway, I'm going in with the next one, which is Planetary Tremor, which is perfect for an inner corner shade. Oh, I love that. I love that. My goodness. What a shade. I barely touched the palette and I got such good color from it. That's really good. That means that I will not be wasting colors. All right, let's go in with 2 more shimmer shades. I'm going to go in with Ventax in the inner corner, and then this color will be the main shade here, because that's Ventaxian's color. It's very emollient, like I'm just tapping it like that and it becomes like that. So this is a very creamy consistency here, like very creamy. You can see how much I'm actually getting on my finger as I do this. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to press it here. But it looks like color is coming off, so I can't really complain about this. It's a very interesting consistency though, I will say that. And it wasn't what I was expecting either. So let me just get my mirror up so I can just work on this a bit better. I will be blending out this color with the pink. And I put this here because this does have a shift, and I want to make sure that I capture that shift for you. So it does have this green kind of shift that happens with that shade. I'm going in with Ventax. Ventax does not have that emollient kind of thing. So I'm just grabbing some on my finger. It looks like that. I'm going to stamp that here in the inner corners and just take that upwards. And it's very, very easy. You can see that. So this kind of feels like I know I made a mess there, but this feels like a bronze, and this feels more like a lighter kind of color. And this, I think, has more sparkle and shine to it. It kind of feels like similar though, like especially on my lids. I feel like this probably has more of a gold tone to it, and this is just more sparkly. Hello, this is looks 1 and 2, and you can see what they look like on my lids. Now I'm going to give you my makeup details, and then we're going to get into my thoughts on the shades that I've used thus far. So this is what I use for foundation, Sephora Best Skin Ever. This is in the shade 33.5Y. I actually really love this foundation. It's one of my favorites, along with the Yensa one. This has a bit more coverage though, so when I have a few scars that I'm trying to cover up, I like to go in for this one. And I would say it's not as dewy as the Yensa one that I always use like every single day. So if you're looking for something more natural and less dewy, this one is definitely the one that I would go for. Okay, now for my mouth, I went in with a Bare Minerals lip gloss. This is in the shade Ambition. I absolutely love this color. Very subtle, very nice, perfect for, you know, just everyday use. And I really love Bare Minerals. So I do have a code with them if you want to pick anything up, and I'll put it on the screen for you, or you can go to the links in the description box and you can just get whatever you want from there. I went in with a Yensa blusher as well. This is probably one of my favorite products. You're probably going to see this a lot on my channel. I love using this. So this is in the shade Radiant Rose, definitely one of my favorite products to use. And that's basically that. I didn't really have anything other than the eyeshadow base, which is by Alter Ego. I also have a code for this. This is non-affiliate, so I don't get anything, but this is a really good base. So that covers the makeup details. Now let's get into the palette. I want to share my thoughts with you on that. First things first, let me point out the formula of these 2 shades over here. Now this and this over here, they have this creamy thing going on, very emollient in the pan. When you put your finger in, it's kind of moving around. I was like, oh, okay, like is any color even going to come onto my fingertips? But they did come on the fingertips. I think that if you used a brush for these 2, it's going to be a lot harder. So I highly recommend using your fingers for those 2 shades. The other 2 shades that I use, which is this one and that one, those look very similar on my lids. I kind of feel like it's only when I bring my mirror like close, and this is a mirror that magnifies, so it's only when I'm looking at my eyes in this mirror that I'm actually able to see just the slightest difference in color. I'm not seeing the biggest difference over here because I feel like they just look very similar. I feel this one on this side is maybe a little bit more silver toned in the way that it shows up. This one seems to have a little bit more color to it, but it also has a few silver sparkles and stuff, so that would be Ventax. And it's very interesting because Planetary Tremor over here seems to be more of a white base, I would say. That's what I'm getting anyway, because you can see how it looks like right on my eyes. Like when I'm looking at it in the camera, this really feels like it has more of a white base. This one probably has a, I don't know, like maybe a peach base. I couldn't be too sure, but I can see sparkle coming there, but it's still pretty similar in terms of colors. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about those shimmer shades. Now the matte shades, of course, we've used 4 of them. Those worked really well and I'm very happy with it. So I want to combine more. Let's go into looks 3 and 4 and see what we can create. I want to have some fun. We're coming up to the fun colors as well. In terms of shimmers, there's more color coming there and I'm very excited to see what I'm going to create. So I'll see you in those looks. So welcome to looks 3 and 4. The only matte shades I have not used are Peace and Myth. So that's the blue and the purple. So obviously I want to start there. I'm going to go in, I think, with the shade Peace and put that on one side. I've already gone in with my base, so I do need to work a little quickly here. So this kind of reminds me a little bit of the shade from Amy Loves, except it looks like it's a lot darker than that shade and more purpley without a doubt. We're going to go on the other side with the shade Myth, which is a purple. Something else I want to mention about the mattes is that they don't have a lot of powder coming out from them when I'm tapping into them. And I really like that, because there are certain shades I've tried where there's just a lot more powder coming out of them. So I think that you can save more of your eyeshadow when less powder is actually coming out from it, you know? Because that means more of it is going to be getting onto your lid. I'm going to go in for pink on this side here because I really don't know what to expect with what I'm going to be creating here. I'm going to just try and do something fun and new, so I want to get a little bit of pink on here. So I'm just going to add that color right here. Maybe I'll go in again with Crouge because that kind of makes the most sense to me since it's the other light color. I'm not really thinking too much at the moment about what I'm going to be creating. I'm just trying to see the numbers of ways that I can use, you know. I'm going to go in for this eye first. So the first thing I'm going to be grabbing is, I think, 2367. So I'm taking it in one swipe and then I'm going to put it in the center, because I think that that's the only way to get all the colors that I want to get. So that's what it's looking like, kind of like this interesting blend of blue, green. I'm coming in closer just so you can see what that looks like. And I'm just stamping it here. I got a bit of a clump, so you can see how that's looking like on my eyes. It's a little bit hard to get like the full effect here because, you know, I need to swipe, but I also have to drag it out so I can kind of see like patches of color here, which is, it's quite pretty. It's very interesting. I think I'm gonna go in for Feckler H. Like, I don't know how to say this, Feckler. Okay, I'm gonna go in for that one. As you can see, Feckler is also emollient because I'm just tapping and it's going in like that, but I did manage to get a little bit on my fingers, so I'm gonna take that and put it in my inner corners here, ever so gently. I don't think that you could pick this up with a brush. So that means there's 3 emollient shades in this palette. I am going to probably do the shades Imposter and Ardra with purple. So that's going to be interesting because this is Ardra, that's Imposter, and I'm going to mix it with that purple. Let's see how this goes because I have no idea how this is going to work. So Ardra is really beautiful. It's very, very strong and very shifty. Definitely deserves to be on the outer corners of this look. So I'm going to put her here. And it's got this very intense green shift, and I love green with purple, which is why I decided to put that color right there. Now I'm going to add the next shade, which is Imposter. So you can see what Imposter looks like. It's like this, and it actually has a lot of shifts happening in here too. So these are Holochrome shades, so they do have shifts. It's just, you know, you need the lighting and everything. So I'm gonna put Imposter here. And it's kind of showing up as a pink when I'm looking at it. It's looking like a blue in the camera though. But I can see red. I can see a lot of different colors coming through here. Just gonna bring those over. Now, of course, these are just, you know, test looks. Test looks for me are looks where I am just testing out colors to see how they look like. These are not necessarily the final things that I'm going to do with the palette, so I'm hoping that I find some time to sit down later and actually create some proper looks for you with this. Hello everyone, this is looks 3 and 4 completed. Now I did have a lot of fun using these shades. They were very magical, especially Imposter and Ardra, which are right above the shade Peace over here. So those two shades, they're very shifty, and I'm just going to include a clip here of my eyes so you can actually see the shifts that are happening. I was so impressed with the way that these worked. Now these are holochromes, so they do have a nice texture, like it's very smooth. This is not an emollient shade like the 3 others that we have tried so far. So Ventaxian Scholar, Legend, and Feckler, all emollient shades over here. You will have to go in with your finger to get it onto your lids. Now I'm actually a little bit upset about this eye over here because I didn't realize this, but as I was doing my photos and everything else, and I came back to do this commentary, Feckler has actually moved upwards into a place I did not want it to be. So I'm not too happy about that. I think that that was pretty disappointing because if I had gone out and I saw that happening to my makeup, I would be pretty like upset about that because I did not want that there. So I think that the emollient shades do need, you know, a bit more work, I think, in a sense where you will have to apply a base or something that's going to just keep it right there. Now I don't think I did put enough base in this particular inner corner of my eye, so I will try working a bit faster the next time I use these emollient shades. So far what I'm noticing is that it works better for me if I put the emollient shades on the ends of my eyes, because over here it's very easy for the emollient shade to go and actually hit the top over there and create, you know, like just shades and shapes that I don't really want, because as you can see it's gone and it's formed there, and I don't want it up there because that's just not the placement for that shade for me. I actually forgot to put my lip gloss on, and that is the Bare Minerals one. So the makeup details are essentially the exact same, except I did not wear my blusher from Yensa. So coming back to 2316 here, I don't think this is a very like shifty shade. I think the method here with shades like this is the one swipe method. Just go swipe and swipe, and then go in for another swipe and another swipe, and that's how you're going to retain like all those special shades that are there. And it's going to be unique to each palette because they pour it right in, like it's all done by hands. Now we finished 13 shades. I'm going to go in for the last 2 ones, which is Mendora and Contract of Ardra. Mendora is another special shade, and I do see shifts in this one. So that one and that one, I'm probably going to use that in my inner corner shade. Like, let's see what happens here. But basically I can just go back in and use whatever I want now because, you know, we've basically finished the entire palette. So I want to do that with you, and that's going to be the final look. I thought I was going to do 5 and 6. Not going to be doing that, just going to be ending with 1 look. Hey everyone, welcome back for the 5th and final look. Now I'm so excited because, you know, Mendora is the shade that I'm going to be featuring as the main shade here. So I'm going to quickly go in with Peace on both of my eyes. I'm going to put Peace, I think, slightly here, like above my crease, because I think I'm going to get a little bit of purple and just add that to the ends of my eyes. So I just want to do this first. You can see how pretty this blue is. I really love this color. And I'm going to do Thorac because Thorac is a cool toned brown, and I kind of feel like that would work a lot better. So I'm just going to add a very tiny bit of Thorac here, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. I feel like it looks pretty equal. So now I'm going to go in with Mendora, which is pretty exciting, and we're going to have Contract of Ardra probably in the inner corners just for some contrast. I have no idea how this is going to look, but I'm pretty excited to see how it is going to look. This is Mendora. I'm so excited about this, and I'm going to go and stamp it here. It's pretty cool as a shade. I'm gonna say that already because I'm really loving this. It's so fascinating and just all over the place. And I've got that blue here, so I'm putting the blue in my inner corner. I think that's very, very pretty. Kind of similar in a way to 2367 because I feel like, I don't think I was getting that blue, but I think I was getting the green shift that I can see. So I think it's similar in that sense. Now I'm going to go in with Contract of Ardra, which is a really bright yellow. So that's going to be that contrasting shade in the inner corners. And I'm putting it right here. It's like the sun. Wow. I just want to make sure that it goes where I want it to go and not just anywhere. And then I'm just gonna spread that out. This is a holochrome as well. This is essentially what my look is. I don't like that there's such an obvious break, so I'm gonna look into what I can do there, but I do like the way this is looking. I'm really happy that I could add that yellow shade there because I feel it's pretty important. Hello everyone, we finally finished all 5 looks and I'm so excited. I'm gonna go into my comprehensive review after this, but let me give you the makeup deets first. So this is the same foundation that I used, same lip gloss that I used as well by Bare Minerals. This is in the shade Ambition. The foundation is 33.5Y, and this is probably the only new thing that I added here, and that is this. This is an acid rain paint from P. Louise, which I used to create my wings, and I really like that. I feel like it lasts forever and it's just a lovely product and very easy to use. So I do like to get quite a few colors of these and keep them around because they work so well as eyeliners, and you know, that's just one of my tricks to having a eyeliner in a tube. So anyway, aside from that, there are no other makeup details I want to share, so I want to just jump right into the review. We finished, you know, using the entire palette, which is so exciting. I did all of this hoping to, you know, create as many different kind of color combinations as I could and to kind of see what this palette would be like. So for this one, we obviously went in with Contract of Ardra here, and then I went in with that, and you know, I went in with that beautiful kind of bluey purple shade along with that cool brown. And you can see what my eyes are looking like. I'm just going to include a close-up here so you can see how it's looking like. I kind of feel like the shades did kind of change a little bit. I don't really know if you can see the shifts, but you know, you should be able to see a little shift happening because this shade actually does have a shift. That green color actually turns into a pink, which is pretty cool, and the white actually changes kind of into like this gold pink as well. So it's kind of got a lot of pink tones in Mandora, which is pretty interesting. And of course, I absolutely love that really intense blue that's in there. I think that blue actually turns more into a purple toned shade, which is why my eyes here, when I'm kind of looking at them, they actually seem to look more purple right now. It's really fascinating to me because I thought this was going to be more blue toned, but this is actually looking a lot more purple toned. So just something to keep in mind. You know, you may have a different shade, but you know, at least you can see that the shifts are kind of working in that way. Now, Contract of Ardra is also very, very pretty. This actually has a bit of a green shift to it, and I hope that the camera was able to pick that up. I liked it so much because it's a yellow, and I think that yellow and purple go so well together. Yellow goes so well with blue as well, so I couldn't resist putting that in my inner corners and just brightening up my eyes in that way. I'm really happy with the way that the 5th look turned out. I think it's so pretty. I didn't have any trouble with Mandora, and I certainly didn't have any trouble with Contract of Ardra. And as you know, the mattes are very, very pigmented. I've already mentioned this, you know, after using them in every single look that I have done. So I've used the mattes multiple times now. It's only the shimmers that, you know, I kind of got to use, I think, only once for each one. But the mattes I've used multiple times and I really like them. So let me come to my thoughts on this palette. So first of all, formula. This is just a recap of everything I've already said. You know, there are 3 shades in here. That would be Ventaxian, Scholar, Legend, and Fekla. So that would be 1, 2, and 3. All the shades that have a fingerprint indent are very emollient. You will struggle picking these up with a brush. I think that you need to use your fingers for that. So if you're someone who works with your fingers, this may be a bit easier. I don't think that that formula in particular for those 3 shades is going to last without a base. I needed to you know, put my base, and even when I put it in here, Fekla, which was in the inner corner, was actually on top over here, and I didn't really like that, so I wasn't too happy with that. So I noticed though that when I used Ventaxian, Scholar, and Legend, like right here on the outer sides, it was actually working perfectly fine. So this is a hooded eye thing, and I need to just put these shades on the outer corners, and I think that's going to be fine. Now, color story wise, I think this is very pretty. I think that we can probably create a lot more looks here. I think on these shades that were looking fairly similar on me were Ventax and Planetary Tremor here, so those 2 shades. And I saw that, you know, in the first 2 looks itself, they were very similar shades here. The shifts that I can see are mainly in colors like Ventaxian, Scholar, Ardra, Contract of Ardra. They have a green shift coming through. So I'm just gonna try and see if I can capture a little bit of that on the camera. Maybe you can see them. I can kind of see the shade Ardra changing from, you know, that orangey red to that green. So you can kind of see that there are shifts happening with this palette. So there are some special shades in here. If you're going in from Endora or 2367, it's the one stroke method, or just going in with a brush, because I did use a brush and I was able to get, you know, only a little bit of that color coming through when I was touching up. So you can do that. And, you know, I just think that aside from those really emollient shades, I kind of felt like the rest of the shades were very easy to use. I love the holochromes. There are so many of those in there. So I'm pretty sure that Imposter's one, Ardra's one, and I think Contract of Ardra may be one as well, but I'm not sure. Because I'm just looking, I think it is, because I kind of see the same sparkles coming through. I think that in terms of seasons, I would say that Legend of Ardra is pretty interesting. I think it could work as a summer palette. It's got so many neutral tones in here, so it's kind of like a mix of these neutrals with really bright colors. I kind of felt like I didn't love the first two looks that I did. I liked them, but I didn't love them. So I kind of want to play around and see, you know, if I can get more interesting looks out of this one. I think that my favorite rows in this palette are definitely these three, 1, 2, and 3. I just felt like, well, these are actually columns, right? Because the palette's actually like this. So yeah, these 3 columns here are actually my favorite columns because I'm just a color person. I kind of feel like these neutrals, I didn't really necessarily need them, but that's because I'm just not someone who necessarily likes neutrals all the time. I feel like it could work though for every day, so I probably am gonna try wearing this, you know, to work next week, and I'm gonna see how that goes. I want to retry Legend, I think, and probably Torak, and I'm gonna just do a little light inner corner probably with Planetary Tremor, like one of them. Let's see how it goes. Haven't really made up my mind yet, but I probably will be doing that. But anyway, I think that, you know, all in all, this is a cute palette for summer. I think the color story could work for spring as well, because when I initially saw this palette and I saw the swatches, I was thinking, you know, this really feels like a very spring floral palette. So I kind of think that this would look fantastic. And I do like the special shades. I think that they're nice. And I do think that for the price point, you're kind of getting special shades here with it. You're getting quite a few of them. So I think that, you know, it seems kind of fair, because there are some brands that charge literally $10 for each special shade. So I feel like here you're getting a bit more, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this shifts as well. That's 6, and then you're getting all these extra colors. So if you're using the Adept code, please sign up for Adept, because Adept actually sends out codes. Like every time they have a launch, they'll give you a discount so that you can apply that discount to their launch. So you can do that and you can get a discount. You can also use my code, which I have with Adept. But I actually think that it's better when you sign up with Adept, because you actually get to buy this, you know, at a bigger discount. So that's just more worth it to me. I like the fact that the packaging is like this. It's very, very pretty, and packaging is definitely 10 out of 10 for me because it's so beautiful. It's so eye-catching, and I love all these different imprints. Like there's a moth, there's 2 snakes. It's just so pretty. I still absolutely love the color story, and I think it's great. I think this is a pretty unique color story. I don't think I've actually seen a color story like this in a while, like purples and yellows. I mean, I think the only thing that I'm thinking about when I think of this is the Province palette by Nomad Cosmetics, and it was definitely not like this, because that had a lot more purples and a lot more yellows and all of that. So this is more special because you're getting holochrome, so it's a completely different thing. And then of course you're getting some neutrals in there as well for all of us who enjoy our neutrals and, you know, feel a little intimidated by color. So you kind of get a nice mix of neutrals and colors in this palette, and I think that because of that, it kind of makes it pretty unique to me. And of course you have those special shades in there, which I don't really feel like I've seen in a lot of palettes. So it really comes down to preference and what you actually like, what you feel comfortable with working with. I actually felt like it was pretty easy to work with. The only shades that I was a little nervous about were the emollient ones, because I told you I have oily lids and makeup tends to just, you know, melt off my face if I don't have enough base or whatever, and if I've not applied it at the right time. But I didn't have that problem with Legend and Ventaxian Scholar because I put them on the outer ends of my eyes. So I think if you do that, you should be fine. I did have a problem with Feckler though, because Feckler did melt and it went up there, and I was like, ugh, like I did not want that to happen. So anyway, I actually had fun using this palette, and if you want to go check out other Adept palettes, then you can go and see my reviews on all of them. I think so far the top two palettes for me are the Arrow one, what was that? The Inspired palette, and Sumerian Sunset. I think those two rocked my world. Like, I absolutely love them. And I need to say that I actually have two Adept palettes sitting in my pile of shame, so I will be working on those and I will get those to you as soon as possible. So that's all I have for you about Legend of Ardra. Before we go, remember to subscribe to my Instagram and to my TikTok, because I do upload other content there from each launch. So if you want to see, you know, reels, photos of everything, go and subscribe to those things, because then you get to see the full thing. YouTube is more of my long form content. But thank you for joining me. If you need help, just let me know. Remember again that my code's at the description box below, and you know, I will just put it on the screen here in case you were thinking about picking this palette up. And I will see you soon for another video. I'm sending you lots of love. I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.